Meeting's called to order. September 17th, 5:30. No public comments. I don't see anybody who wants to talk, so we're approval of minutes. Anybody have any questions about it, comments, changes? Otherwise, I'll welcome the motion to accept those as presented.
Motion to approve.
A motion, somebody? Okay.
Alexa.
Anybody?
A second.
One here, second. All right, got a motion approved and a second. All in favor of the approval of minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh,
Under new business, I think, Mary,
yes,
you got those. Go for it.
excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me share my exciting idea with you. Hopefully you're as excited as I am. I've come up with an idea for a pilot program that will paint the benches on the Riverwalk.
Mary, if you don't mind just introducing yourself and your role.
So sorry. I'm Mary Tofflon, Parks and Rec. I am a special events supervisor, and I have recently been tasked with activating the Riverwalk. A thought that I had was before we start bringing the masses to the Riverwalk that we want, we're going to try to beautify it a little bit. It's already a great space. We're just going to make it even greater. So this is a pilot program that I've done a lot of research on.
It's in your packet.
Yes, you have a packet. And it's, as it says, it's to paint the benches on the Riverwalk. We'd like to start with just a few to make sure that this idea is as great as I think it is. And that's where we'll start. There's approximately 20 of the wooden benches. They're like the double wooden benches. They would be considered one bench. There's some composite material that we would leave alone. They look great. The wooden benches are starting to show their age and could probably use a little bit of a pick-me-up. This program would be a sponsor-driven program, so it would not cost the city anything. We would look for sponsors to sponsor a bench. In return, they would get a plaque with their names on it, their business names on it. We would also recruit local artists. So I'm not going to be out there painting benches, I promise. The artists will do it. When we get artist and a sponsor, we will marry them and they will work out the details. The sponsor will be able to pick sort of a theme out of a few themes. Do they want it to be a floral design? Do they want it to be abstract? Just a few. We're not going to let them go crazy with it. And then the artist will work to design it. And once it's designed, the sponsor could then approve it, maybe give some minimal. We're not going to let them go back and back and back and back and make a million changes, but we will let them have a say in it. And so that the sponsor and the artist is happy with the product that they're going to be able to produce. I will be spearheading this as the program coordinator. I will be working in conjunction with WDI. Christina Haley is the Chief Executive Officer of WDI. She is as excited about this project as I am. When I called her, she said, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about something similar to this forever, couldn't figure out how to get it incorporated. So we have the full support of WDI. That's super helpful. Susan Havis is the Executive Director of Thalian Association. She's very well connected in the arts community. She knows artists and she has a lot of connections to potential sponsors. So she's agreed to be on board with us just to help with those connections. Cameron, I hope I'm saying this right, Badenides is a local artist who does a lot with the city. She's currently heading up a couple of art programs. She works for Dreams as a teacher, an art teacher. And she's also done a lot of work, which I didn't realize when I started working with her, on the Riverwalk. She's painted some of the planters and they've been there and painted for years and still look perfect. So she knows what she's doing. I've spoken to a national muralist. Her name is Lauren Stumberg, and she's done huge murals all over the country. She's recently done something really great in Atlanta. She's living, hello. She's living in the, for now in Wilmington and very excited about, she's gonna be more like a consultant in product knowledge and that kind of thing. What's the best paint to use? What's the best way to seal it so that we have a long-term product? Every person that I talked to about that, those people that I just mentioned are as excited as me, and I can tell you I'm pretty excited. I'm also gonna reach out to Kim Huffman from Wilmington and Beaches Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Rhonda Bellamy, who is on the Arts Council. They are both so deeply involved in the downtown area that I just want to make sure that they know what's going on and that we're not stepping on any feet for something that they have, that they're thinking about that I don't know about. Process is going to be pretty simple. We're going to send out invitations to artists. We're going to send out invitations for sponsors. Hopefully we get at least a few. The sponsorships per bench will be $3,000, and that will cover all the expenses, including a beautiful plaque that will mention the artist, or sorry, the sponsor or their business, however they want it. And in addition, it will leave a profit of $1,600 a bench. That money, WDI is going to help us with that, and they already have a Riverwalk account. We are going to get into a contractual agreement with them, so that money goes directly into an account held by WDI. That gives us a little bit more freedom to use that money if it goes into the next fiscal year or whatever. It'll be free for us. There will always be money left in that account to maintain the benches if there's anything that's needed from them. So that will not be an expense on taxpayers or the city. And it will also help us, we're not anticipating that we're gonna need $1,600 a bench in maintenance. So it'll also become our account for other Riverwalk projects. So we're excited about what else we can do to activate that Riverwalk. And this money is gonna go a long way in helping with that, as well as making these benches incredible.
One comment, I just anticipate from some of the business folks I know being willing to sponsor this, but when they look at the 1,600 held in reserves, it's kind of a little, they may be resistant. They don't mind paying for the muralist and the preparation of the bench and the finished product, but
Right.
I don't know if there's a way we can frame it a little easier, because
I think we can
Donation.
frame it in a way that they are paying for, and there is a sample letter in here that you'll see later, the invitation to them. And while we're not hiding what we're doing with that money, I think it's to say that we're doing, using it for the supplies for the artists who will be paid. And to maintain it over the years. There's going to be some prep if the benches are cracked or something like that. They're going to be prepped ahead of time. And the money that is left over is going to basically go for the maintenance of those benches as well as additional beautification projects. So
Draw more people to the river.
could draw more people to the Riverwalk. And later in this, in a page or two, you'll see some studies that have been done on how public art affects local areas.
The excess money, whatever, the 1,600, I understand maintenance on the bench, whatever. There, I think there could be some real hesitation on, as you said, other beautification projects. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but somebody just gave you $1,600 to fix up the bench I spent $1,300 on.
Mhm.
But then it's, I mean, unless there's criteria, somebody could do a beautification project that the person who put that $1,600 doesn't want to participate in, doesn't want to be associated with it, yet it's his or its money. And so I'm leery of making that so broad. I mean,
Sure,
it would-
sure.
I'm perfectly fine with the maintenance of the bench, that's what they've done and that kind of thing, but that wide open further beautification could be a
Sure.
touchy subject.
The way I view it, and maybe this is not correct, is it's a sponsorship. You might spend $500 to have your name on the back of a t-shirt for something. You're not necessarily getting anything from that, but your name on that t-shirt. you know, like anything else, you might get a poster over at Legion Stadium or Olson Park that has your name on it. And you're paying for your name to be on that.
But you get no other control outside of what's outlined in your corporate sponsor agreement.
That's correct. I mean, we can't give them ultimate control. One of the things that we thought about, and of course, this is all, that's why I'm here to hope to get some really great suggestions and thoughts from you all on this. As a artist and a sponsor being married together for that, they would again talk about how they wanted it to appear. We were talking about today, Kim actually came up with, maybe Copper Penny will want to sponsor this, and the artist can draw a bunch of copper pennies on the bench. And what a great advertisement that would be for Copper Penny, and that would probably look pretty cool.
So that was one of my questions, is how much control is the city gonna have over the final, what the bench looks like?
There will be an approval process, and that'll go through me, Christina from WDI, and probably our artists as well. And if it needs to go for further approvals, that's fine, but we will not let anybody go. It's gonna be designed, and the artists are gonna know what the criteria are
And the
prior to.
sponsors are.
And then they can work with the sponsor to get it as close to what the sponsor is interested in, while sticking to the criteria, so that we don't have a crazy old Riverwalk.
Is there, recently, hasn't the city, on murals? I can't remember what the detail of it is, but you can't put up a mural that is commercially or backing a commercial operation. It has to be just a generic, pretty
right.
whatever. But you're talking about the one you just said, Copper
The
Penny.
Copper Penny, right?
I mean, is that gonna be allowed that they can actually, in a sense, advertise the business on that bench?
I don't know. That's a good point, but they are gonna have a plaque with their name on it.
Sure.
So it's advertisement in a way. I will certainly look into any regulations that would dictate if that can or cannot be done.
So do you, I'm sorry for my ignorance, but does the city currently have a written commercial sponsorship program? So
We
this
do.
would fall under that.
That's correct, and we would be complying with that policy, and there is language in there that essentially limits the type of language that can be used, and making sure that it's not something that's
Political or
controversial or inappropriate or does not meet the core values of the city. So I think you bring up a great point. Like, we don't necessarily want it to be like direct advertising. And that's why Mary is going to work hard with the artists and the artist community to make sure that we're selecting themes that are indicative of Wilmington and what Wilmington represents. So she had listed, I think, like nautical, nature. So I think there's 4 or 5 different themes that they could follow that would sort of fall under the criteria for the type of artwork.
And so perhaps, there's not gonna be, maybe we shouldn't have copper pennies on the bench. It sounded cool to me when Kim said it, and I didn't even think about the direct advertising, because it's not like the business's logo or name in any way, but that is certainly something to take under advisement.
You look at the pictures you've got in the first couple of pages, obviously those are not commercially oriented at all. I mean, they're
Correct.
Just nice.
And those are things that have been actually done in
Right.
other cities.
Right.
So how long would their sponsorship last?
Well, I am going to, my recommendation and what I think I'm gonna suggest to them, and this is where you guys can help me, is a period of 3 years. I know that the bench can withstand, I've got some great products that are telling me that it can withstand 10 to 20 years before it starts to age at all. But to be on the safe side, because we don't want to have to leave a poorly maintained bench or something that's not holding up more than 3 years. It's certainly going to hold up that long. So still kind of working that out. Do we want to make it a 3-year period because that's a safe amount? I don't necessarily think we want to open-end it because maybe somebody's bench is gonna hold up more than other benches. So there's gotta be a definite beginning and end to this thing. My thought is 3 years. After 3 years, if the benches look great, we could discuss maybe re-upping their sponsorship. If the benches don't look great, we could go back out into the public and get additional sponsors. But they would be guaranteed a 3-year period.
Have you spoken to other cities who have done the same kind of thing with the benches?
I haven't spoken to them. I have dug into a lot of information and I really just summarized here the cities that are participating in it. There was a big article about Beaufort, South Carolina. There was an article about Flint, Michigan. There was a lot of information on how they were using it to attract
I
people.
wonder if you talked to them if they could help with some of the language because the letter to the businesses seems a little vague. Like as a business, I would still assume that I could advertise my business based on this
Mhm.
letter. So maybe you could ask them for whatever letters they sent out. Maybe that would help. And then we don't have to create the language, like we can
Right.
borrow someone
Right.
else's that
Perfect.
worked.
So tighten up the language.
And they might also be able to help you with the years thing, like how they handled that. That might be helpful.
Thank you. That is great. Yep. Yeah, so there's been studies. One of the ones that I noted here was from the University of Cincinnati with some kind of amazing statistics. How crime was down in the areas where there was public art, just simply because it felt more of a public spot and not as likely a hangout spot where nobody was. Increased foot traffic. I did read a study about the amount of time, the amount of people that stayed in an area where there was public art, the amount of time they spent, and the amount of additional money that they spent, just feeling welcomed into the area. Those are not my, I was like, how do they spend extra money? But this was a study that I read.
When you talk about maintenance, just throwing it out there because it'll happen sooner or later, but graffiti,
Mhm.
is that, that's accepted maintenance responsibility then of
Yes.
the city to
Yeah.
clean it?
As a matter of fact,
How about, does that
I-
include repainting?
I've got a product, let me see if I could find the information. It's called Vandal Guard Silicone Anti-Graffiti and Water Repellent Coating. It is the muralist, I know.
It's for you.
Yeah.
It is the muralist who recommended something like this, and she said she literally has used it on her murals. It's a coating that you put on it. It's expensive when you buy it in a big jug, but when it goes, it could be about $19 a bench for the cost of that. And what I'm being told, and we're actually gonna meet with somebody, a representative from this company, that it pretty much washes off the graffiti while keeping the integrity of the paint.
Cool.
And it's ecologically safe, right?
That's right, it
It doesn't
actually does say
Kill
that here.
everything within 10 yards.
Yeah. It does say that, and it's water repellent and it helps with mold and fungus buildup, so it sounds like a really great product, and we are gonna meet with a representative from that company for them to prove it to us.
And for longevity, just based on experience I have as a homeowner, instead of pressure treated wood that you treat with whatever product, I'll tell you that Trex, that kind of plastic wood stuff, it's a polymer within wood. I don't know, maybe some of you guys know about it better, but Trex is a great product and it never wears out. That thing can be sitting there for 50 years, rained on, snowed on. It just
Yeah.
works. Looks good.
Well,
Sure.
that's the composite.
Yeah,
Is
yes,
that correct?
composite.
And we do have several of them. I'm thinking about a third of our benches out on the Riverwalk of made of that composite. I don't know if it's because those are newer. And they just look great, like you said, and they're probably gonna look great forever. So my focus was gonna be on these wooden benches that don't look so great.
Hmm.
You anticipate then painting the old benches that are existing. You're not gonna put down new wood and start fresh
No.
with the new.
If there's any wood that's broken, we're working with somebody to prep the benches. So they will be trying to keep as much of this off of our Riverwalk Parks and Rec people that are, or parks people that are already working very, very hard on that Riverwalk. So, the benches would be sanded, any kind of prep. If there's cracks, they would be filled in. And then there's a coating that would be put on, a primer, before any painting would happen. Then the artist would take over. And then after that, that sealant would go on. How are we doing? Any questions, any excitement? Anybody as excited as I am?
I think that sounds really cool. I have one more question though.
Of course.
Will they? This might be a bad idea, but will they all paint on the same day? So it's like a festival of the benches getting painted?
They won't, simply because I don't think that it might not necessarily, hey, if we get 5 sponsors that want to go, we'll paint all in one day.
Mhm.
My thought was to have some sort of a tour, a bench tour, once we had multiple benches, invite the public and kind of make it a deal. Have some excitement built
Mhm.
around it, maybe create some buzz when the first bench starts to get painted. The news is always looking for a feel-good story, I hope, and do something like that. But I think that the idea would be that once we have several of them and it looks like a theme on our river walk, we can present it as a whole.
So do you know how many wooden benches are out there? Like, would that be the maximum that you would allow
Mhm.
as far as
I
painting?
think there's 20. I'm gonna have to go back and count, because when I did that 3 times, because I don't know why, because I counted 3 times. I counted in the composite benches, and now I'm second guessing that, so I want to go back. And then there's some of I know you've all been out there, there's the benches with the backs, which is what I'm sort of looking at, what I put on that front page. But then there's also flat benches that are the same style, but they don't have a back. So I kind of want to consider if we would do something with those. And I haven't really looked into that, but would that be a similar sponsorship fee, or would that be a smaller fee, or would it be something completely different that we want to do? But a lot of those flat benches, wooden benches, are also getting to look like old ladies out there. They're pretty,
Men.
they're pretty,
All
or
the benches, Mary, are all the benches in and around the Riverwalk, like, are any around the new Grace Street Library, or,
I was focusing on the Riverwalk.
okay, that's fair. We're starting out.
Starting out, and again, I really want to make this a pilot program so that we're not getting in over our heads. A few benches, see how it's received, see what the public thinks. See how our artists and our sponsors are feeling about it, and if it takes off the way I am positive it will, then we can move on from there. But I think, starting small.
No.
We don't want our eyes to be bigger than our stomachs. A list of cities that have done this very successfully. I was trying to keep this down because I know everybody likes to go home. But I have a lot of information, or a lot of these cities have provided a lot of samples of their benches and what they're doing with that program, how they're including folks into the area. Or if they're using them as a sponsorship, or if they're doing tours and charging for, fees to see their benches, have a bench day and things like that. But there are a lot of cities doing this. These were the ones that I pulled. I know you have looked at your sponsorship letter, and I got some great tips on that. We can include some more detailed information. I think that sounds right. And then I put a sponsorship or a invitation to the artists. So that's kind of the long and short of it. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? excitement.
Did you choose benches because you have benches that need to be repaired as opposed to, say, for example, DC had a panda program
Mhm.
and they had them all over the city. And people would go on scavenger hunts looking for the pandas. I don't know if they're still there or not, but they were there for many, many, many years. And other cities kind of picked up on the
The
pandas.
bulls.
And
in
they
their,
had bulls and yeah, and so why did you pick benches over, say,
Sure.
some other kind of statue art? Or-
Yeah. Well, honestly, because I was asked to activate the Riverwalk. So I took a walk down the Riverwalk and decided, I was trying to come up with activities, okay, so this is a great cutout area. We could probably put on a yoga class or a reading to children area for, a activity. And as you're walking down the river, it's really a pretty sight, right? You've got your river on one side and on the other side, you have aging benches. So I just thought, why are we inviting all these people to our river walk and asking them to come because we have this great thing that we all know we have, let's face it, it's been voted, right? But let's dress it up a little bit for them.
I think also we want to start small and kind of find the low hanging fruit. It's an amenity we already have on the Riverwalk and something that people appreciate. So we want to capitalize on that. And then also just a little preview a little bit further down the agenda tonight. One of your work plan initiatives is Riverwalk activation. And I think getting some feedback from you and folks in your circles will help Mary kind of make some next steps as we work towards making the Riverwalk, the best it can be for our community.
Right, yes, I just thought this was a good starting point. I've heard so much about it. As I looked at those benches, I thought, why are we inviting people into a house that
Yeah.
needs a little dusting? So that's honestly, that's where I got the idea, nothing too big, but
I like it.
I like it a lot too. I think it's gonna be really nice.
I think starting small and then highlighting local artists, I think would be a very good idea.
and I think we could get a lot of excitement from those artists. Who are in this community already doing great things, but maybe not so publicly. All of a sudden, they're gonna have a chance to be out there. And I think we'll probably, while the benches are being painted, we'll probably put some kind of signage out there about who the sponsor is, just like one of those golf signs, who the sponsor is, who the artist is, some detailed information. We might even be able to put maybe a QR code out there that they can, if people come by, they can get some information on the artist.
How about this committee getting some information on the artist? I certainly recognize her desire in this case for complete independence and vision of her own. I respect that in art, but would she object to meeting with the committee just to sort of envision what she has in mind?
Oh, I'm sure not. And keeping in mind that we're going to have multiple artists, we're gonna be putting the all call out for artists.
The
But
ones mentioned here, but yeah.
and we have her, she's huge in the art community here. So she was gonna kind of be our connection to the art community. If one of the sponsors said, oh, I really like that abstract idea, she'll say, oh, well, the artist for that is this person. But the artist that I do have mentioned here is just jumping up and down about this project. She's very excited.
Good.
So I'm sure she'd be very happy to chat with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. If anybody has any questions, please, my information, you now have my contact information, so feel free to reach out. I will be continuing to do more research and making sure that I have all the i's dotted and all the t's crossed before we dive in. But hopefully that'll be soon.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I forgot about the folks out there.
All right, and their old business, Sally, you're up.
Sure, thank you. So I think we had mentioned to you in a previous meeting that the Greenfield Centennial is coming up, 100-year anniversary of Greenfield Park becoming a city park. So you're hearing it here first because all of our marketing is gonna be going out next week. The date is November 1st. And it's from 11 to 2, and you are all invited to please join us. We're gonna have dignitaries speaking. Terry will be there on behalf of the Rotary Club as well as on behalf of the board. They'll be unveiling a project to make improvements to the Rotary Garden there. That's very exciting. We'll be burying a time capsule. So if you have items or photos or memories that you would like to put in the time capsule, we'll be burying that under a beautiful oak tree there by the Rotary Garden. We're hoping to have a free concert, bounce house. It's going to be a very family friendly event with lots of activities on that day. So more details coming in the next week or so. We're very excited about it and celebrating our oldest park. Any questions about the Greenfield Centennial?
Could you repeat the date?
November 1st. It's a Saturday
It's at the Rotary.
at the Rotary, yep, which is right across from Greenfield
amphi-
Amphitheater, exactly.
Is that a Saturday?
It is a Saturday, yes. And then the work plan. So you've all worked very hard to develop your work plan. You came up with 5 initiatives. In your packet, we have a draft annual report. Thank you, Mary. And my request to you is that you review the annual report before the next meeting and let us know if you want to add or remove anything that's in there. So on the first page, we have just an overview, the members, the staff. On the second page is your mission statement. Then there is a list of accomplishments and highlights from our last work plan period. So these are all of the items Kim combed through and found all of your accomplishments from the last couple of years. But we wanted to highlight the top 3. So if you at the next meeting can let us know kind of your top 3 that you'd like us to highlight, we can expand the information on it, add some pictures, and just kind of make it a little bit more visual and informative. And then the third page is your work plan. So this is for 2026 through or fiscal year 26 through fiscal year 27. Over the next 2 years, you have 5 goals that you have committed to, and you voted on them at your last meeting. So these are official. And then ideally, if you, with your feedback, we'll incorporate that into the annual report and then we can vote on it. This can become your official plan, and I'd love to take it to council and present it to them so that they know about all the great work you've been doing and what you endeavor to do over the next couple of years. Does anybody have any questions or feedback right now?
Well, I have one question about back a ways, about accomplishment, the Encino. Somebody educate me on South County.
It's up off 421. It's like the big soccer complex.
Okay, yeah.
And they just recently redid a lot of the bathrooms, and it's actually I'm on the Encino whatever advisory committee, yeah. But it's really nice if you ever take a drive down there. It's used a lot. They do lots of tournaments, and it's used mostly for soccer.
It's on Sutton Steam Plant Road, if you know where that is.
Okay.
On what?
Sutton Steam Plant
Yeah,
Road, yeah.
what's the name of that road?
I just missed that one. Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions about it? This is really good work. I'm
Proud of it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. Yeah, I mean, this board has been active and interested and has helped us advance a lot of our strategic goals, and that's a lot of why you're here. So I think this reflects the work that you've been doing. All right, so that's the annual report. Staying with this document, we have your goals. And I had suggested to Terry and Ron that maybe to help you advance these goals, you would want to create some committees around them. So some subsets of the board that could focus in on each one of these goals to move them forward. So for example, goal number 1, UNCW and Cape Fear Community College student involvement. The goal is to increase student involvement in Wilmington Parks and Recreation. Some of the action items in here are to meet with department staff to see the current level of engagement and participation, and then develop recommendations for additional engagement for the board to consider, and for the department to consider, and evaluate the best approach. So it would be great if you wanted to create, a student involvement committee, or you could wrap it all into a, public engagement committee, something like that. You could have a couple of goals under different committees. And then if that's an area of interest for you, or if you have strengths or connections in that particular goal, you might want to volunteer to, either chair or be somebody on that committee that could then work towards making progress on these different goals. We do have one standing committee right now, the Parks and Greenway Committee, and it may be that some of these goals could fit underneath that committee. Ron is the committee chair right now, and that's where the Adopt a Park initiative has been underneath that committee for the last year or two. So I'm just going to open it up for discussion and see what direction the board would like to go in terms of developing new committees or not, but essentially how you might move some of these initiatives forward and who wants to focus on which ones.
Ron, can you describe what the Parks and Greenway Committee does and how it works?
I think. That was originated, I don't know how the Greenway got in it, but that was originated by the desire to take the whole gambit of parks in the city and divvy it up amongst everybody so that
Adopt the Park.
adopt the park. I mean, that's what it was. And that's, I mean, we started that. I don't know that we got any further than Terry making a great presentation on a park he didn't know existed. And it just, that was the idea. I mean, whatever 2 parks you wanted, usually it was a major and a minor park. You go visit it, walk it, see it. And if there's something that's worthy of bringing back to us, whether it's good or it's bad, needs help, that kind of thing. But we really haven't had anybody feedback. And I was going to say when it came up here, I don't know who doesn't have a park and where it stands. I mean, that kind of, depending on who's on the board and that kind of thing. But everybody should have 2 parks at least.
Yeah, I think we all do. And I think that we have had, if there was negative feedback, we've definitely said, okay, Wade Park needs some attention in the restrooms things. And Halliburton was one of my parks, and I had brought in some flyers from the Halliburton, whatever that the little office there. So I think that we're still doing the Adopt a Park format. It's just maybe at every meeting we have like a little couple minutes to see if anybody has an update on their park, on their individual park. But if you're gonna,
Sorry, I was wondering if we had like a spreadsheet or something we could all add comments in, because a lot of times there's not time at the end for us.
that's a great idea.
If there's somewhere where we could all kind of chime in on our own time and kind of report and build that for our parks, I feel like that would be helpful.
Yeah. Do you remember us doing?
Yes, absolutely. I have 2 little parks and I have visited them, but I've also been very involved in Halliburton Park and working with them on developing a friends group.
Oh, good.
And they weren't aware that they had somebody from the board that oversaw, if you will, their park. So that's the only place I've been where when I asked about
Where
the
you did,
program,
yeah.
they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to make a more concerted effort to visit our parks if they're manned and.
Well, I think the idea was not oversee anything. It was just go see. You know. so
Report
just-
back.
Yeah, if they're just go visit the park, just so that, I mean, that's our little baby, I guess, and go visit and see how it's doing. And if it's not doing okay, report it, but in a,
I don't know, I feel like there's also value in knowing the park staff and understanding what their concerns and problems are and then bringing those back to the board. But
Sure.
that's just my
Like a
opinion.
good introductory to whoever's in charge for each
Yeah.
park or
That's a
working
good
there,
point.
and our staff goes. Would be nice. So we're not just kind of like, hey, I'm.
Exactly, yeah.
Who are
I'm in
you?
charge of your
Yeah.
park.
who are you with the camera walking
Yeah.
around, you know? And,
Well, we can certainly commit to that on a staff level. I can send the sheet that we have back around, but I mean, I'm happy to create a shared worksheet that
That'd be great.
people can just drop some notes into and when we do our committee reports, share it with you and you can share the feedback.
Whatever, I mean, that's fine. I think it'd be a good idea.
Or you could see
Also-
if somebody else wants to chair that committee.
Also, I'd just like to say, because somebody was asking about, they had a complaint about a park. There is on the city website, a link that you can take you to if you see something wrong in the park, like overflowing trash cans or something like maintenance issue, that you can report it on our website. So there is, if you do see something like that, you can report it right away and it goes straight to the landscaping, the parks landscaping office.
And I'm
Is
just
that what
asking.
we should be doing if we find.
No,
a
it's only if
problem?
you find something,
That's what I mean. If we
Wrong,
find a
yeah.
problem, we should be reporting it through that.
you could, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, we could definitely do the.
Is that
Yeah.
posted anywhere as a sign on any park? That ability, I mean, if somebody just happens to go to a park and see something's bad, I mean, they could.
There's, well, I did float around with Isaiah about maybe putting a QR code somewhere in some of the parks that, have had,
Sure.
a few complaints over the last couple of years, but.
What's one of those, see it, report it? kind of thing,
Yes,
as
exactly. I
opposed to
was
See
thinking
it
the
and
same
don't
thing.
report it,
Right,
and go home
because
and forget it.
that link actually has the ability where you can actually send pictures as well. So,
Yeah, QR code is a great idea, especially for the parks and the ones that we would really appreciate it at.
I had a jurisdictional question. I'm really hyped about this new park, Arrowhead Park. It's been there forever, but it's got basketball, it's got a disc golf course. But it's not city,
It's county, yeah.
County,
so it's not really worth our time, right?
it's got pickleball too. Just
Got
got you. know.
Just
It's
to-
always
so
got
you know.
people in it too. I mean, unlike some of our
Everybody's-
parks.
It is a really nice park, though. I've.
You talking about the one in
just
Castle
gone
Point?
through.
Arrowhead.
Tell you what, get a map out when you're going though, cause you'll never
there's one
find
in
it.
Castle
It's
Point.
pretty hard to find, right? It's behind that
It's hard to
school,
find.
Mary C. Williams, I think.
Very hard to, and
Yeah.
the shelters are very.
Call it
old, so they have
Silver
things
Lake and-
there too.
Is that the one with the lake?
You contend with the neighborhood.
I don't
Yep.
know if there's one out there or not. But the disc golf course goes through the woods, but it's
There's
really,
Veterans Park out
but
there.
that's county.
Beach too.
It's out in Castle.
That's also not city one.
All right, Sally, you got enough to work on that?
So I guess
It's near an elementary school, but I don't know the name. What he
Mary
asked.
C.
what else-
Williams?
Yeah, Mary C. Williams Elementary School.
I think.
would the board like to create some additional committees?
And it goes like that.
Or-
Are you
Would
talking,
you, would you like to think about it and we can discuss it again at the next meeting?
you talking about with regard to these
The
recommendations?
the
Five
three
goals.
goals or the five goals.
Goals. Yep, so the student involvement, the invite new city council members as guests. The Riverwalk activation, the host Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meetings at different park facilities and engage the public. And then open space preservation.
We used to occasionally meet at Halliburton.
I know, we've definitely met at a few of the parks, if they have conference rooms and stuff. Yeah, that was very helpful to know more about which individual park.
I just didn't realize how big Halliburton was till we had a meeting there.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's a lot of room.
Yeah, it's a nice facility for sure.
And just acreage too, I mean,
Yeah.
compared to say Wade Park, which is half
Exactly.
the size.
Right.
Yeah.
If even smaller.
Could we put 3 and 5 underneath the Parks and Greenway Committee? And put 2 and 4 together, because it's sort of similar, and then let one stay by itself?
I like that idea.
I like that idea too. I think
Good
it's good
idea.
to maybe combine them because they do overlap.
I like to be on that one.
Which one?
So you said
The-
3 and 5?
3 and 5.
Yeah.
And
2 and 4 and 1 by itself.
I would like to be on 3 and 5 as well. I would be on 1.
Since I work at UNCW.
Is there a particular office or person at UNCW that you would communicate with? I had no
I don't
idea.
know.
I'm just curious. Yeah.
I can tell you if I had known about this before, I teach freshmen and they're required to do a volunteer service. It was last week though.
Hmm.
So if I had known about it before I signed it, I could have just made them do something at the park. I had 25 kids that needed stuff to do and I had a bunch that couldn't find things, so
Oh, bummer.
yeah.
I also see that goal as how can we meet their needs, not just how can they help the department, but I think it's really important to meet with who's ever in charge of student services or next slide, I don't know. what
Yeah,
they're called.
no, I'll find people. It'll be good. And I don't know people at Cape Fear, but I can find somebody.
In the interest of time, I just suggest y'all just get up with Sally and look if there's a particular one that you want to get
Yeah.
your name under it. And then we can, where there's too many on one and whatever, we can next meeting divvy that accordingly.
Exactly.
Joe, I heard
2
you
and
say you'd
4.
be interested in 3 and 5. Paul, did you say that as
Yeah.
well?
3 and 5, yeah.
And then for 2 and 4, did someone say
I'll do two, fine,
2 and 4?
shake them up anyway.
And I'll take whatever left over.
You don't know about yourself. The committee.
Thanks, Alexa. What about Demetrius?
Yeah, I do the same. I take what's left over. Whatever needed, I got you covered.
That's all.
And I wouldn't mind being on the 3 and 5.
Okay. So 2 and 4, would you like to give that committee a name?
I like to give it a name.
I mean, I looked at you, but I didn't mean you, collective.
So they both have inviting
Yeah,
in there.
future meeting council. or something.
Engagement committee?
Engagement.
That
was-
sounds great.
Oh, no, really? Question mark.
Who was that?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think engagement.
Alexa.
Well, now I'm wondering if we shouldn't, if it's an engagement committee, do you want to put student involvement in the engagement committee, even though it's a different goal?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna make so many points in there, there's not gonna, I mean, people are gonna have a hard time dealing with so many. I
All
mean,
right, so keep it its own.
I wouldn't consolidate any more
It's
than
a
just have
big,
to.
Thing.
Okay, student involvement committee. All right, so, Ron, I would love it if we could vote on the creation of these 2 committees, the engagement committee and the student involvement committee.
Okay, so that's two, I mean, maybe I got lost.
I thought there were 3.
I said we're starting with 5 and we're down to 2. I thought we were, yeah.
We're down to 3.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Because you said you didn't want to create, you
One
didn't,
is UNCW, 1 is 2 and 4, and
Yes.
1 is 3 and 5.
yes, and 3 and 5, you want to go into the existing Parks and Greenway committee.
Yes. Oh, that's what she's saying. She's brilliant. It's only 2 new committees.
Okay, so
Do you need a motion?
the existing Parks and Greenway Committee is really just adopt a park. Okay, I mean, that's,
Yeah, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what he who did volunteer, that's all it is.
It's an
So if
evolution.
it's a new committee, fine with me to create it. I'm just saying, not my baby, but that's okay. So you
So
want,
if you want to vote to incorporate the goals,
that's fine.
into-
Okay, that's fine. All right, So I'm looking for a motion to do what Sally would like to do.
I will motion that.
There you go.
I'll second it.
There we go.
Even though I'm not sure how it's worded,
You can word it nicer.
just what Sally wants to
What
do.
Sally wants to
That
do.
is not what I'm trying to do.
Form two committees to help you achieve the goals in the work plan. One is a newly instituted Parks and Engagement Committee for goals 3 and 5. The second is an engagement, civic or community engagement, combining goals 2 and 4. And the third is to form another committee for UNCW and student involvement, CFCC student involvement.
And so that was Rhonda's motion and
that was my
Ingrid's second.
Something like that.
All in favor? Say aye.
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 I'm too tired. to
Aye.
say.
You're doing great.
Anybody against, say aye. Nay.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right,
Yeah, you're not gonna have your own committee.
I've got Alexa and Demetrius teed up.
Okay.
all right, moving on, there is no chair report, staff report.
Thank you. I'll make this quick. So lots of activities coming up this month, this fall. Our recreation team has been busy. Fire in the Pines is coming up on Saturday, October 4th from 10 to 3. You should be getting a lot of these through your Gov delivery. So hopefully you signed up for those and are getting lots of information, but we'd love for you to join and let your networks know about them. Fall Fest at Maids Park. This is on Friday, October 10th from 6 to 8. Also at that event and the following day, we're working with an artist to paint the basketball court. It's going to be a basketball mural. We're working with an artist and the public can actually help paint the court. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be incredibly colorful and a wonderful addition to Maids Park. We had the Special Olympics Fall Games coming up on Friday, October 17th and Friday, October 24th. If you'd like to volunteer, you have an opportunity to do it. It's one of the sweetest, most beautiful, incredible events. It's so rewarding. And those kids, parents and volunteers are just amazing. And then I also wanted to let you know that we're going to be unveiling the sign for the Sam Bowen Field at Robert Strange Park. As you know, this board was instrumental in naming that field after Sam Bowen, who played in Major League Baseball in the 60s from Wilmington. So that'll be October 8th at 10 a.m. at Robert Strange Park. That's all the updates that I have. Back over to you, sir.
All right. Anybody else wish to be heard, suggest, or otherwise? Hearing nothing, any motion to adjourn? Second,
A second.
all in favor, say aye.
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 When was the Special Olympics thing? You said the 17th and the 24th, I'm sorry, but where? Was it?
It is at Legion Stadium.
Oh, at Legion Stadium.
All right, Demetrius and Alexa.
Hello.
All right, thank you so much. You guys have a great night.
All right.
Thank you.
You as well.